So here is the moment that almost exposed everything. Ilya Rozanov had opened up to Troy Barret, told him he was bisexual. It happened in the continuation of Heated Rivalry. You'll see it in season 2, but basically it's from the role model book. Yeah. So what made it more interesting was that Troy had actually come out first to Ilya. He did it because he felt like he could trust him, his new captain, and unexpectedly his friend. Yeah. And it all started after Ilya took him to a gay bar. If you saw my last video, you already know that part. Now, here's where it gets really close. When Troy found out that Ilya was bisexual and already knew that Shane was rumored to be gay, he almost connected the dots and almost figured out the truth that Ilya and Shane were together. But Ilya interrupted him at exactly the right moment, so Troy didn't reach that conclusion. So in this video, I'm showing you what happened next, how Ilya told Shane about coming out to Troy Barret, who, as you may remember, was believed by many to be a traitor, a prick, and why Ilya still chose him. Also, how Shane's perception of Troy slowly shifted. Because this conversation may look funny on the surface, but at the same time, it shows the exact moment when Shane didn't see how much Ilya needed to speak to someone, and that led to their biggest fight. So, hey, Anna and friends, let's look at this small piece, because the tension is already there, and Ilya clearly needed a friend. As you remember, Shane had been curious about Troy. He asked Ilya about him, right? He wasn't against him, just wondering what he was like. And now we know who plays him on the show, right? Actually, if you watched my thumbnails, I wasn't too far away. Yes, he does look like the book character. And we also got to know who's going to play Iris. So let's see how it goes. So yeah, when Ilya called Shane after going out to a gay bar with Troy, he told him everything. Shane reacted instantly. He was so shocked, he nearly choked on his smoothie. He was drinking smoothie at that time. He kept asking what had happened, and Ilya explained that he had told Troy he was bisexual. Shane, right? He got so scared that everything might be revealed because of this. Like people would find out, etc., etc., full panic mode. So then Shane is like, when and why? How did that happen? Ilya said it had happened the night before and that he had simply wanted to tell someone. Yeah, so no one was torturing him. Shane didn't realize that it had been weighing on Ilya, and it made him feel like a bad boyfriend, though he pushed this feeling aside and focused on something else. He wanted to know why Troy. There was a pause, and Ilya made him promise not to tell anyone. Ilya explained that Troy had come out to him first, that Troy had told him he was gay, probably not telling many people, maybe no one, and that it felt right to share back. Which wasn't exactly true, Ilya had been the first to say it, but that's how he explained it to Shane. And Shane was shocked. He was like, Troy Barret is gay? For Shane, that was a lot. Yeah, as you remember, Troy Barret had always seemed like a homophobic douchebag, and all of a sudden Shane learned he's actually gay himself. Ilya confirmed it, but made it clear that it was a secret. Of course, Shane agreed to keep it, but started wondering why Troy had told Ilya. It even crossed his mind that Troy might be interested in Ilya like a sex partner. Ilya went on explaining that he had taken Troy to the gay bar and that it had been his first time there, and even joked that Shane would like him because they were both bad at being gay. And Shane was like, hilarious. So what happened at the bar? Shane didn't find it funny, right? Ilya said they had talked with queer New York hockey players, including Scott and Eric, who owned the bar. When Shane asked if Troy had come out to everyone, Ilya said, no, just to him, while they were walking back to the hotel. And Shane commented like, sounds romantic. Ilya shut that down, explaining that Troy was in love with Harris, not him, and added that this was also a secret, though not a very well hidden one. When Shane asked if he had been surprised when Troy came out to him, Ilya said no, because Troy's obvious crush, and also because Troy had checked him out a few times. That didn't help. Shane admitted that he didn't like Troy Barret. And Ilya was funny, like, why? You have a lot in common. You both are short, gay, and both think I'm hot. Shane replied that those seem to be Ilya's favorite qualities in a man. Yeah, but Ilya kept going, even comparing their looks, saying they were both very pretty, had nice dark hair, and that Troy didn't have chest hair. At that point, Shane told him to stop talking about Troy. And I laughed. He said it was cute how jealous Shane was. Shane denied being jealous. He was like, I am absolutely not jealous of Troy Barret. But in his head, he was thinking about everything Troy had. Time with Ilya, playing on the same line, being around him in the locker room, and even going to a gay bar with him. But then Ilya said something that actually mattered. He said he was only telling Shane because it had felt nice talking to someone about this. And that's the key, because at the time, Ilya was very lonely, as you may remember, right? He had changed so many things to be with Shane. He left his Boston team and friends, moved to Ottawa, as you remember, to the weakest team in the league. So he didn't have close people around him. Even his therapist also advised him to open up to someone else. So when Troy trusted him first, it gave him that chance. But instead of fully understanding it, Shane got scared, right? He worried that Troy might figure out the rest about their relationship. And that's where the conversation turned. Ilya got angry, as if only Shane was allowed to tell his friends while he had to stay silent. So they ended up the call, and they ended it on a sour note. Ilya said he had practice, and Shane didn't understand why they were both so angry all of a sudden. So he said, fine. But even he got, the bitchiness of his tone, so it was more like, fine. To undo it, he told him to call after practice. But yeah, they were both angry a little bit. So Ilya replied that he might be busy having sex with Troy. And he ended the call. So why did Ilya do it? Because he felt alone. Because he needed to share this with someone other than Shane and his parents. There was no one else close. Not teammates, not even Svetlana. They didn't talk after he left Boston. So he was down, he was depressed, he felt trapped. He felt that Shane didn't understand why it was important for him to tell someone that he was bisexual. It felt so good to have someone trust him, sharing what's real in what he was hiding. That night, actually, Troy came to Ilya's hotel room. And for a moment, Ilya got scared that Troy might want to seduce him, just like Shane was assuming. But no, Troy just came as a friend. He told Ilya he had idolized him as a younger player and that he respected him as a captain, that he was a good captain. Ilya really needed to hear that. In return, Ilya told him again that Harris is nuts about him and that he should do something about it. So, they shared some time together as teammates and friends. And with Shane, Ilya couldn't just, leave when they ended on this sour note. He didn't send an apology text because he wasn't sorry for what he said or did. It was real. He needed someone to open up to. He needed a friend. But he didn't like, how the conversation unfolded, because of course he loves Shane. He doesn't want them to be apart. So instead of sending a message saying sorry, which would be a lie, Ilya sent a heart emoji. Yeah. And it turned out Shane had been rewriting an apology text for over an hour for him. Yes. In the end, they even joked about Troy maybe having a crush on Ilya. Yeah, Shane admitted he had been jealous. More importantly, he said he was glad Ilya told Troy, glad he has a friend now he trusts. Later in the story, Shane started to see Troy differently. At the next All-Star game, Ilya told him that Commissioner Crowell wanted Troy to stop posting helpful information for the victims of assault, which made Ilya furious. Shane agreed, saying he was impressed with what Troy was doing and that he was glad Troy and Ilya were friends. But of course, Ilya teased him, saying he would tell Troy that next time they were showering together. So in the end, Ilya made a friend he could trust and talk to. But the thing is, he still didn't tell the full story, right? And you can feel it, that it wasn't enough. Like, it helped. It helped for a moment. It gave him relief, but it didn't actually solve what was underneath. Because when Troy later came back to that conversation and hinted that maybe Ilya could come out publicly too. Oh, too, that's a little bit of foreshadowing. Anyway, so he said that Ilya could come out too publicly, yeah, that he was bisexual. Ilya had to admit that it wasn't only his secret. He couldn't make that decision alone, right? And that's where it starts to hurt a little, because you see that he finally found someone to talk to, but he still couldn't be fully honest. And that pressure, it didn't disappear. It just kept building up quietly, weighing on him until it's exploded. So honestly, this is why this moment matters so much. It's not just about Troy, it's about Ilya trying to breathe a little and still not being able to. But what happened to Troy after this? I'll tell you next time.